Gribsey is a small town, tucked away in the heart of the countryside. The town had a peculiar charm to it, but its true center of attraction was the carnival that resided on the outskirts of town. This carnival was the heart and soul of Gribsey, drawing crowds from far and wide who couldn't bear to miss its amazing spectacle. There in Gribsey lived a man called Jack Thorne. He owned the infamous Gribsey's Carnival. Jack was a loner. He was known without friends or family. Rumors flied around town that he had lost his wife in a car accident. But aside from this, no one knew much about the reclusive Mr. Thorne. He would pose on his carnival grounds with a mysterious smirk on his face as he welcomed people to his carnival. Everyone in Gribsey knew there was something more about Jack than meets the eye, but no one could ever see beyond his charismatic demeanor. Jack's carnival was a spectacle of wonder and entertainment with an allure that captivated the hearts of both locals and visitors from far and wide. The carnival's night sky echoed with distant screams, their source a mystery to the oblivious carnival attendees. Lost in the festivities and the enchanting atmosphere, they remained blissfully unaware of the true horrors before them. Beneath the underground of the carnival were sinister happenings and dreadful sights. It was a different world from the one outside of it. Cursed objects, body parts, crushed bones and other mysterious elements lurked around the environment of Jack's underground lair. Jack would spend a lot of time here. It was a home of disturbing events, and all the people who had ever stepped on its creepy grounds never again stepped outside of its walls. Jack carefully selected his victims, seeking only those whose absence would go unnoticed. These were also his employees. He would reject several individuals and only employ people that he saw fit. These individuals possessed no knowledge whatsoever of Jack's true intentions for them. They were ignorant to the fact that they were only a pawn in his paranormal games. He also had a specific way of carrying out his malevolent missions. He would invite a new employee over for an urgent task and offer them drinks laced with a fast-acting poison. With the poison doing its part, Jack would carve out their hearts and begin feeding on it. For Jack, the organ removal served a deeper purpose, as it granted him more power and control. He would then proceed to peel off the flesh on them, leaving nothing but bare skeleton. He would crush the bones and starts a ritual process. This process involved him channeling the energy of the crushed bones into creating strange and twisted attractions that fit perfectly into his carnival. Missing people reports had been filed in Gribsey, but the victims had little to no relatives, and the cases died eventually. The town was trapped in a web of ignorance and enchantment, unable to uncover the truth behind the disturbing events that unfolded within the carnival's boundaries. Alistair was a young and desperate 19-year-old who sought employment from the charismatic carnival owner. As a 19-year-old high school dropout with no family to speak save her old and fragile grandmother, she was the perfect target for Jack's sinister plans. Alistair had lost her parents at a young and lived with her grandmother in Gribsey, seeking solace wherever she could find it. When Jack offered her a job at the carnival, Alistair couldn't resist the opportunity for a fresh start. Then, one night, she got invited to the carnival grounds one night by Jack. In an effort not to displease her new boss, she hurried to the carnival grounds. She followed the narrow path that led to Jack's lair. There, she saw her boss waiting for her, a wide grin on his face. He welcomed her with open arms, and stretched out his hands to offer his newest employee a drink. "Alistair, my dear, you have proven yourself to be the perfect candidate for my carnival," Jack said with an unsettling smile. "What do you mean, Mr. Thorne? What kind of task am I supposed to perform?" Alistair's voice quivered with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Jack's smile widened, revealing a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. "Oh, my dear Alistair, you are about to become a part of something truly extraordinary. Your essence will intertwine with the very fabric of this carnival, forever immortalized as a strange and beautiful spectacle." Before Alistair could comprehend Jack's word, she started feeling sluggish and drowsy. Jack stood over her body, watching as life drained from it. The room fell into a dreadful silence as Jack proceeded to peel her flesh, leaving behind a skeletal frame. There, Jack began chanting and murmuring, summoning ancient forces and invoking black magic to mold and shape the crushed skeleton before him into a ghastly creation that would fit seamlessly into his twisted carnival. The screams of the victims echoed through the night, carried by the wind, but they went unheard amidst the chaos and festivities. Missing reports had been filed, but there was never enough evidence to push any of the investigations forward. Gracie had just moved into town with her fiancé, Tommy. They were two lovebirds looking to start a new life in a new town, and for them, Gribsy was the ideal place. Gracie saw a poster for a vacancy at the widely known Gribsy Carnival, and it caught her attention. On the same day, she located Jack. He was his normal charming self, and he welcomed her in cheerful spirits. He asked her a few questions, to which she replied without hesitation. Gracie kept the knowledge about her having a fiancé away from Jack as she thought it was not necessary for him to know. Jack accepted Gracie's bid to work for him, saying to her, "You'll fit right in," with a mischievous smile on his face. One fateful night, Gracie received a phone call from Jack, summoning her to the carnival grounds for an urgent task. Bound by the contract she had signed, she had no choice but to comply with her boss's demands. As she made efforts to leave the house, she was confronted by her fiancé. It was their anniversary night, and he had planned a special evening for them. Grace reassured her fiancé, promising to return in time to celebrate. Tommy reluctantly obliged. He watched as his beloved set foot away from the house and headed to meet her mysterious boss. As Gracie arrived at the carnival grounds, an eerie feeling crept up her spine. Noise echoed through the night with faint screams. Pushing her knees aside, she pressed on toward Jack's underground office, hoping to fulfill her duties swiftly and return to her fiancé's side. Upon entering the office, the ancient writings carved into the walls grabbed her attention, their meaning lost to her. Something in her instinct screamed danger, and she felt a surge of adrenaline urging her to escape. Jack stood there, a twisted smile stretching across his face, as he welcomed her with open arms. Noticing her trembling hands and the fear in her eyes, he attempted to allay her suspicions. "Gracie, my dear, there's no need to be afraid. I have something special planned for you tonight," he said, his voice dripping with malevolence. Gracie watched as her boss grabbed a glass with his left hand and stretched the same hand towards her. Fear coursed through Gracie's veins, and she mustered the courage to defy her boss. "I don't drink, Mr. Thorne. I'm sorry, but I can't accept your offer," she replied, her voice trembling. Tommy started to worry about his fiancée who had promised to come back home in a few hours. He followed a narrow path, guided by the sounds of murmuring and dark whispers. Each step intensified his dread until he stumbled upon Jack's hidden underground lair. His heart shattered as he witnesses the horrific sight before him. Jack standing over Grasseye's mutilated body. The weight of sorrow and anger bore down upon Tommy, overwhelming him. He continued watching as Jack murmured chants and appeared to be in a trance-like state. Driven by a mixture of grief and fury, Tommy sees the bloodied bat lying on the ground. With each swing, he unleashes his fury upon Jack, the carnival owner who had tormented so many souls. A reign of terror brought to a brutal end. In the aftermath, the town began to heal. The tale of Gribsy and the horrors that had plagued its carnival became an urban legend. It served a reminder of the dangers that lay hidden beneath the surface of even the most seemingly idyllic places. Tommy, who had now become the town hero, spent his life haunted by the demons of his past. He sought to unravel the mysteries behind Jack. This took him to a world of darkness that had terrorized the town even before the days of Jack Thorne.